Sarah Trevelyan, owner and founder of Sarah Loves to Sew. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very cute little glamping cutlery roll. So this is a padded little holder for your cutlery when you're going on a picnic or camping, so you don't have to do what I did last time, which was scrabbling around for all the cutlery at the end of my cooking box. So this is made from cotton with some wadding in the middle, and it's got some coordinating fabric on the inside, some lovely bias binding and ribbon to tie it. And I will show you how you can make it, and then you can make your very own. If you want the kit to make one of these, it's on sarahlovestosew.com. I am going to be moving over to another website, but that will take you there as well. But I'm moving over to a .co site soon, which is why I haven't been around for much, because I've been working on the website, but it's all going to come together very soon. So this is the glamping cutlery roll we're going to make today. Let's get started. So the first thing that you need to do to make your cutlery roll is to get your fabrics and your wadding. So you need to iron the back of the lining with the wadding on it. So press it on a medium heat with a steam, and that should stick the wadding onto the lining, and then put right sides together, the fabric on top, and then sew along the long end, one end, and then the other long end, and we're going to leave all of this side open. So to do that, you just need to pin them into place, sandwiching the lining in the middle between the two, the outer fabric and the wadding, and just use a 2.5 size stitch with the matching thread. Obviously you can thread your bobbin with a matching thread as well, so that you've got it both there. And we're just literally going to sew around the edge with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so once you've done that, you need to trim the corners, and this will just help the corners be a little bit sharper. So we just trim that, and then you want to turn your cutlery roll the right way round. So just grab the corners like you would a pillowcase and put it the right way round, poking out those corners to make them nice and neat. Got some thread there, and then you just want to, using maybe a chopstick or just your fingers, or maybe the other end of a pencil, just poke those corners into place. And I always just press the seam a little bit as well to give it a little bit more shape. And then we're on to the next step. So just poke those corners. Seem to have a few bits of thread caught there. There we go. So yeah, make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, now we're going to tidy up this raw edge with the bias binding that comes in the pack. So this is the binding. As you can see, it's already been folded for you. So you need to tuck the end in and then fold it over, making sure that you have both sides in. So we're going to pin that in place, and with the ends you can just fold over a little bit so that it's quite nice and neat on the edge there, and then tuck that bit in. So we'll pin that in place and do the same on the other side, and then sew it. So I've just tucked in the end and made it neat, pinned it in place, and we're going to sew that and done the same on that side. sew it on the machine, making sure that we're getting both sides in. So I'm going to sew it on here and catch the back in. Okay, so I've just sewn that down there, and now we're going to construct our cutlery roll. So put it down with a lining face up, and then measure 6 inches from the bottom and fold up, making sure it looks nice and straight. And then what we're going to do is we are going to sew all the way around the edges. So we will sew along here as well, because it just makes it look a little bit neater, and that will sew those sides in. So if you just spend a little bit of time slightly rolling with your fingers to make sure that you've got the nice neat edges, so try and push down the white, and you can either pin it or clip it along that edge. And we're going to try and sew. We don't want a great big huge border here, so I've just done 1/2 centimetre or thereabouts, but just try and keep it even all the way round. And we can, got another thread there, keep catching threads in. So you're pushing the white lining in, and just try and get the blue to be on top there as you pin those edges. And same with the other side, so you just make sure that they're nicely lined up, and then you'll pin them and sew all the way around. So once you've sewn all the way around, now's the time to start measuring out your pockets. So I've done mine to fit a set in each. So I think it's 2.5 inches. Yeah, so if you measure 2.5 inches, you can get 5 pockets. You might want the last one for another set of cutlery, or napkins, or cheese knives, whatever. So if you want the 4 pockets like that, or you can try your own cutlery, whatever you're going to put in here, and see how big the pockets that you need will be. So I'm going to do the same on this one, 2.5 inches, and you just measure at the bottom, mark it, and at the top, mark it, and then you can draw a line. This pen comes off with the iron, so just line those up, and then you'll be sewing just along that line, and then we carry on doing that for all the other pockets. So once you've got all your lines drawn out, you then just take it to the machine and sew along those lines. So we're almost finished. I've sewn the lines all the way from the top of the binding all the way down. Now all we've got left to do is to attach the ribbon. So just fold it in half so you can find the centre, and then we're going to attach this to the outer edge along that seam. So on the left side, just mark that and then place it middle if you want. If you're going to fold the top of this over to protect it, if you've got knives or something like that, then when you roll it up, obviously the ribbon won't be central because we've changed the length. So if you wanted your ribbon to tie in the middle with it folded down like that, then I suggest that instead of having the ribbon here where I have it, you'll just place the ribbon further down, so you can work out by folding. Let's put some cutlery in. And then you can try this out with your own knives or forks, whatever you're going to put in there. And if you want to fold down little flaps so that they don't fall out the end, and then roll up the roll, you might then think, actually, instead of having the ribbon in line with the bias binding, if you want it central, you can just choose where along this edge you want to sew your ribbon. So I'm going to keep mine the same, I think, this time, even though it is quite nice to have maybe I will do it a little bit further down. So I can still see the middle is there, and then I will just have a look at, just going to eye this rather than measure it, and I'm going to have my ribbon tie there on this one. So just pin it in place and then take it to the machine, and you're going to go back and forth quite a few times along there just to secure it. So I've just sewn my ribbon on, and now we have finished, completed another lovely little glamping roll. So I won't have to scrabble around my camping kitchen box looking for the cutlery on my next trip. So these are really good for picnics as well, if you've got a day out. So I think I am going to just fold that down, roll them up, and that way it will keep all my cutlery in one place. Just tie it in a bow. There we go. One completed cutlery roll.